And Scott, you mentioned earlier that this is the record broadcast, 20 broadcasts live, and so these pictures, of course, going into Portugal through OSN, Sport TV rather, through the Middle East on OSN, so a big television audience enjoying this seventh leg of the HSBC Sevens World Series.
Just reading down that list, Willie. J Sports, TBS, which is the terrestrial channel here in Japan, Sky NZ, Sky UK, good morning to you folks. To Fox Australia, Super Sport in South Africa, OSN Middle East, Sport TV Portugal, NTV Russia, Canal Plus from France, Samoa, American Samoa, Fiji, Tonga, Solomon Islands, Hong Kong, Fox Asia, Pan Asia, NBC, Brand Sport, Sport Club and Lithuania. What a list! What a pleasure it is to bring you all the action from the Tokyo Sevens, the seventh leg of the HSBC Sevens World Series.
Pleased you got through that list before the second half finished.
My name's Scott Hastings, alongside me, Willie Losi. So, this one very much in the balance. How do you see this one going, Willie? Do you think Hong Kong can edge it, or have Portugal just got too much experience?
I think it's that experience that's going to really take its toll. And the fact that they're desperate to get points, as you mentioned earlier on.
Hong Kong may disagree with that statement, but on the counter-attack here is Chris Mays, well supported by Ben Rimini, the try scorer. Rimini's going to back himself. Leal's got him. Covers him and fails to deliver the pass. The accuracy just missing from Hong Kong, but Leal did well to force the pressure and mistake on Ben Rimini.
Oh, popcorn they call him, and that's what he was as a sweeper to get across. That's called the Hamilton Shuffle. In New Zealand, it's when you've got the ball and then you haven't got it. And Rimini, if he could take that moment back, he would, because he did everything that was required up to that final stage. I would have liked to have seen him back himself for the corner.
Yeah, the Hamilton boy makes a Hamilton error. Portugal, again, just relieving that pressure. Quite sensible, forcing Hong Kong to attack from deep. Alex McQueen surveys the option, has his brother on the outside, fancies a little run here. Tom McQueen, Varetta's in control. Oh, lovely little switch pass here into Ben Rimini. Oh, the interception is made by Carl Murray, and just the accuracy once again letting down the Hong Kong players. On the charge, Bernardo Cardosa. Cardosa tracked down there by Lee Jones, but Lee Jones doesn't make the tackle. Chris Mays does. But it's a try there for Portugal.
Try. Thanks.
He did brilliantly, didn't he, Cardosa? It is Easter, so there are a few crosses going on between both sides. Firstly, the break here. And look at this little pass back there. There's a cross. That's the first one. And then there's one more given here. And then the intercept, and that's when Cardosa, firstly it was Murray that got it, and then Cardosa, he didn't do the Rimini and wonder whether I should or shouldn't go. He just said, follow me to the line, fellas, and that's a beautiful handoff. And watch him fight to get the ball to the ground here. He's tackled, fights, and he gets his way to the ground in the tackle of Chris Mays.
The conversion is good. Portugal out to a 19-10 lead. We'll get 1 point for the semi-final place. If they move on to the final, they'll get 2. If they win the Shield final, it'll be 3 points in the Shield final. So they could put themselves out to 10 ahead of Japan with 2 events to go. Still enough time for Hong Kong to get back into this, but Portugal, well, they made the cardinal error there of kicking the ball touch and goal.
Hong Kong have had their opportunities, and now the kick and chase.
Well, Alex McQueen pops the one down. It's covered though by Duarte Moreira. Remember, Portugal started this tournament with an absolute bang. They beat Australia by 12 points to 7, but then came up against a feisty New Zealand team, lost that one by 7-26, and then a single score to Scotland by 12 points to 17, and well, it was USA who thumped them 39-0. For Hong Kong, well, they've been competitive, but England put 33 points on them in the opening tie yesterday on day 1. Fiji put 35 points, but Hong Kong scored 2. And then the final game on day 1, Wales worthy winners at 31 points to 5, and then Samoa took them and kept them to zip again, so 21-0 this morning. So what can Hong Kong do to finish off their weekend in Tokyo?
Well, that all counts for nothing because they've got a case of the dropsies here in this game against Portugal.
You know, Guedes from Sirio Porta Club, the 20-year-old, he's certainly shone for me. Football is played by Yum Kang Shing. Follow-up tackle's good by Jamie Hood. He just holds on to his man and Bernardo Cardosa.
They've certainly had their opportunities, Hong Kong, and I think at times they've looked to be a little bit too creative as opposed to just taking the route one, as we call it, and finding your way to the try line.
Yeah, you'd say they butchered 2 chances in the second half. Ben Rimini on both occasions giving, well, spilling the ball on one occasion and the interception made for the other, which resulted in a Portuguese score at the far end by Bernard Cardosa. And there's Carl Murray. So Carl Murray, 29-year-old, very experienced, and been on the invitational circuit, born in Whangarei, New Zealand, in the north of the North Island. This is a beautiful place up there. I've been on tour up there. Not straight, says referee Federico Anselmi. Hong Kong opt to go for the scrum with it. Of course, Hong Kong still have to score twice. But at the moment, well, what's the humour there from João Belo. Scored a try against Scotland at the end of pool play on day 1. Feed by Alex McQueen. Played in the Rugby World Cup in 2009, the 7s version of the Rugby World Cup, that is. Of course, the 15s game will celebrate its Rugby World Cup in England in September and October this year, so much excitement and anticipation across England. Now the quick kick through from Yu Kam Shing, but great cover there on that far side by Zhao Vaz Zatuns.
He's got a lovely feel for the game, as that man Styles. His ability to just put in a beautiful little kick. And on that occasion, it was actually Hood. Put it to the toe. Yu Kam Shing just couldn't get there. He should have actually committed his body to the ball, and his momentum would have got him over the line with the wet ground.
So it looks as though Portugal will progress into this Shield final, and they'll be up against Argentina. So an extra point is the award for Portugal on the 7s World Series standings. Hong Kong, though, will have the last say of this game. Switch play from Hood. Hood goes for the line. Jamie Hood, he's held up, though. He's got it down there. Now, if they decline the kickoff, they can take... Sorry, if they decline the conversion, they could have actually taken the kickoff, but that may well be the last play of the game. The grimace and despair from Jamie Hood. He persevered there. And he could have turned round to the referee, Federico Anselmi, and said, we won't take the conversion, we'll take the kickoff. And that may well have just been enough to win the tie. But for Hong Kong, well, it's that's the end of their competition. They've contributed handsomely over the last couple of weeks by hosting last week's tournament in Hong Kong. But despair there from Jamie Hood. Portugal win that one by 19 points to 17.